Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Crypto Nerd Live Show. Today, we're going to break down the condition of the market, analyze some charts, and hang out. I am Crypto Nerd, a crypto trader, analyst, and educator, and I'm building a social media presence focused around investing in crypto. Before we start, I need to be clear. Nothing I say is ever... Oh, I need to silence my phone. Nothing I say is ever financial or investment advice, and I'm just giving you my personal opinions. The charts that we look at are just my interpretation. Okay, let's start. Friendly reminder, actually. Remember, the like and subscribe button are below. Feel free to hit those for me. So today we're going to talk about the general market, what happened today, because today's been kind of a crazy day, right? We had this really bearish start to the day when everything really tanked. Bitcoin dropped 7% from 63,000 all the way to 5,800. I just smacked my mic. And altcoins plummeted. And since then, it's gotten a little bit better. But what's surprising is the way that altcoins bounced. So we're going to kind of look into that. We're also going to discuss what is the cause of the bearish drop today, especially in the morning. When will things get better so we know kind of when to expect this next leg up? And what should we do in the meantime? What should we be doing during this weird chop? So why don't we just jump into it? And as you can see, the sentiment around Bitcoin is getting really ugly, with people saying, analysts saying, thank you, Kath. With analysts saying that Bitcoin is going to drop below 50,000 before starting its parabolic run. So this is a very bearish outlook. Below 50K, that's pretty deep. We also have, so that's kind of been the sentiment on Twitter, on YouTube, and on the news networks. So what is the cause of it? And I kind of talked about this last stream. There's going to be a little bit of overlap, but I'm going to re-clarify it again. The biggest thing is the lack of rate cuts. That's just the reality. Going into 2024, everyone expected 2024 to be the year of rate cuts. We're going to have 3 rate cuts in 2024. Interest rates are going to fall, and crypto is going to do great. Now, why does that necessarily happen? Because when interest rates fall, everyone has more money. As assets do really good when interest rates are low, everyone has money, everyone's investing in assets, crypto takes off. So that was kind of the expectation going into 2024. But we've had this switch. The Fed switched from dovish sentiment to bearish sentiment, and we've had these. Oh, by the way, before I forget, I got Prime today. Yeah, we're ready for a good stream. The Fed has gotten more hawkish, and they've been delaying rate cuts, and we got another rate cut delay. So we're getting more chop. So the question is, because we always want to be forward-looking in markets, the question is, when are we going to get rate cuts, and what would cause rate cuts? So what would cause rate cuts? The reality is a worsening economy. When the economy is doing worse, the Fed has to stimulate it. They have to pump more liquidity, which is money, into the economy. So the way they would do that is by cutting rates. So we want to see a worsening economy, and there's 2 main metrics that we can look at. The first is inflation rates. The second is jobs reports. How are jobs doing? And last month we had a really good jobs report, which is great, but not good for rate cuts. You never want to wish that the job market's going to be doing terrible, but it would help lower rates. So the inflation rates, so why don't we go ahead and take a look at them? These are the inflation rate. This is the inflation rate chart. And we can see that in 2023, it was much higher. We were in the 6%. And it's been steadily coming back down. It went from 6.4 to 6.0, 5, 4.9. It's in the 4s range. It went to the 3s range. So everyone was feeling really, really good. There was liquidity getting ready to flow into crypto. Everyone's feeling really, really good. Everyone's saying we're going to have 2024 is going to be the year of the bull market. We're having a super cycle. It's accelerated. This is going to be crazy. We're going to have this amazing crypto summer. It's going to be awesome. And then what happened is rate cuts started going up in Q1 of 2024, right? Right. In January, it's 3.1%, trending down. In February, it's 3.2%. Like, okay, went up, but whatever, it's okay. By March, it's 3.5%, and that's all of Q1 2024. That's that's all of Q1 already, and it's just been steadily rising. So now there's this scare that inflation is refusing to go back to the target 2% rate. So the Fed now gets hawkish. They start saying, we were really dovish at first. Now we can't cut rates as much as we wanted to. We can't have 3 rate cuts because inflation is going to get out of control. So that's why we're getting these delays. So that's why we're getting this chop instead of this upward hyperbolic movement like we were expecting. So we're getting chop. Then the question becomes, okay, when will we get rate cuts? Will they be next month? Will they be next year? When can we expect rate cuts so we can see this next leg up? Well, the CME FedWatch tool gives us insights into this. So by the end of July, we can look at right here, probabilities. Ease is a rate cut. The probability of a rate cut by the end of July is 10.3%. No change is a delay. The probability of that is 89.7%. And the possibility of a rate hike, which is increasing interest rates more, is 0%. Yeah, so this is not news that we were hoping to hear. The idea that there's only 10% chance of a rate cut next month is, after the next FOMC meeting, is of course quite unfortunate. And the fact that there's a 90% chance of delay is quite too bad. But we can look at mid-September, and we see that these numbers actually change drastically. The chance for a rate cut is now 70%. There's only a 33% chance that there is no change, another delay. And then by November, we're up to 80% chance of a rate cut. So it's happening. There will likely be a rate cut. Is it going to be next month? Probably not. That's just the reality. So we're going to have to wait a couple months until we get rate cuts. This is part of what's causing this grander scale chop in the market. But more recently, what caused today's big drop? And while this plays part of a role, we were hit with some pretty bad news this morning. And that was that Mt. Gox, which is a really old crypto exchange, like actually, I think this was the first crypto exchange ever, if I remember correctly. And it was hacked in 2014, and hackers stole over 100,000 Bitcoins. And now, just now, 10 years later, Mt. Gox is paying it back. They're reimbursing hacked victims' funds. So how much selling pressure does this add to the market? This adds $9 billion of selling pressure, which is not that much in the grand scheme of things, right? Bitcoin's over $1 trillion asset. So what is $9 billion? But of course, that's like 1%. It's less than 1% of Bitcoin's price. But just this bad news scares people. It causes panic selling, right? Every time there's bad news, there's always panic selling. So what else? What else is causing this? Oh, okay. So there's a couple other causes. Germany is selling Bitcoin, but here's what we have to remember. We have to remember that we need to look ahead. We don't want to be trading the current time. In a market, you want to be forward looking. You want to ask yourself, what is Bitcoin going to look like in 6 months? What is Bitcoin going to look like in 1 year? So we want to make these kind of predictions. And actually, before we get to this, why don't we take a look at some good news? Good news is that we're getting spot Ethereum ETFs by July 2nd. This is really good news. And people are trading as if this, like, they forgot this. People are trading as if this is not the case. But we're getting Ethereum ETFs. And this is huge news because, as we know, altcoins follow Ethereum. So if Ethereum does well, altcoins will do well too. So let's take a look at some charts. Oh, this is right. Miners are also selling lots of Bitcoin. We're getting miner capitulation, which is when unprofitable miners, they're not making profit anymore. It costs more to mine Bitcoin than the rewards. So we're seeing the hash rate go down, which is always a good sign for Bitcoin long term. So this is what's causing this short-term selling pressure. But long term, this is a really good sign. We're also seeing that the adoption of Bitcoin is increasing at a rate faster than the internet did. People are using Bitcoin. So is this the time to be bearish? Spot Ethereum ETFs are coming. And before we jump into this, let's take a look at the bull versus bear case. So here I wrote out, and I'm not an artist. Forgive me if this doesn't look very professional or artsy and fancy. So let's get away from the charts for a second. Why we should be bullish. Here are some reasons, right? The Bitcoin halving was 2 months ago. So it is likely, very likely, that we have some parabolic run at some point, right? Even in this article, Bitcoin analysts forecast Bitcoin price drop to below 50K before the parabolic run begins. Okay, keywords, parabolic run begins. So even the people that are negative about Bitcoin currently, everyone still knows, or everyone is still saying that we are not at the top yet. We are still on our way up. This is a bump in the road. Additionally, Bitcoin ETFs. We have Bitcoin ETFs this cycle. Institutional money is going to be buying Bitcoin. We're getting Ethereum ETFs. Institutional money will be buying Ethereum. We're getting rate cuts in September. Trump is doing good in polls. He's winning in many of the polls, and he has vowed to be the crypto president. And more people are using Bitcoin than ever before, as we saw by wherever. Here we go. By the Bitcoin versus internet adoption. In fact, here is a chart. Let me get these charts. Here is a chart of Bitcoin addresses. Why don't we look at this other one first? This black line is the price of Bitcoin. This orange line is the number of addresses on the Bitcoin network. We can see that there's more people using Bitcoin than ever. Bitcoin is growing. Bitcoin is gaining strength. It's growing as a network still. Man, these are all out of order. There's many people, since 2010, more and more people are holding Bitcoin. This is just another chart that supports the thesis that Bitcoin is growing as a network. And this is all to answer the question of where will Bitcoin be in 6 to 12 months? So why should we be bearish? Why would we think that the price of one Bitcoin will be lower than it is now in 6 to 12 months? Some charts are looking bad. We're not getting rate cuts next month or this month, or that there's an exchange selling Bitcoins. What is the case to suggest that Bitcoin is at a local top or Bitcoin will be doing poorly? What is the case? We have many major indicators. I'm not that I didn't cover this stream, but I covered last stream where we looked at major indicators, and none of which are saying that we're at a top. So why are people bearish on Bitcoin? You don't want to look at the charts to determine necessarily what it's going to look like in 6 to 12 months. The price is down, so I should sell. That's not how you trade. You need to be forward looking. You have to ask yourself the question, what will the price of one Bitcoin be in 6 to 12 months? This will tell you what to do right now. So what would cause me to sell? I think it's an absolutely terrible idea to sell right now. Not financial advice, but I believe that selling now is like buying at the top. Bitcoin is cheap right now. Altcoins are cheap right now. We have all this great sentiment. Everyone is overly bearish. We have this great sentiment that the future price of Bitcoin will be doing great. And there's no good. Even the SEC just dropped its investigation into Consensus, the company that owns MetaMask, which is it's I think the most popular Ethereum crypto wallet. So why would you sell now? What would cause me to sell? And this question cannot be answered by charts, but rather by news. What would cause me to sell Bitcoin right now is something drastic, like countries banding together to go on a crusade against Bitcoin, countries banning Bitcoin. They're saying we're ending this, or there's some fatal flaw discovered in Bitcoin's architecture or code that makes it inoperable as a cryptocurrency. What else? With all of this great bullish news and all these great charts, rather indicators that are saying that no, we're nowhere near the top, like the Bitcoin Power Law, MBRVZ score, and those types of charts, we are nowhere near the top. So why would you sell right now? Is my question. Everyone is overly bearish, I think. More news. This graph is the supply of Bitcoins on exchanges. And we can see the black line is the price, blue line is the actual supply. We can see that the actual supply of Bitcoins on exchanges is at an record low. This is at a record low. We are having I'm going to answer your question in just a second. We are having this supply shock that's clearly coming. This is a result of the Bitcoin halving. Every Bitcoin halving, we have this supply shock. And also, same is true with Ethereum. Why don't we look at Ethereum's chart? Look at Ethereum's chart. This blue line is the supply of Ethereum. Look at this. This is at a local low. This is at a record low. We haven't seen this in years. This supply shock is going to come. We're seeing the exact same thing that we've always seen playing out. This is just more bullish news for Bitcoin. More bullish news for Bitcoin. On top of that, what about altcoins? Altcoins are at a 22. Altcoins are at a 22, which means that we are in a very much Bitcoin season. Altcoins don't have that much lower to go, and we are also at critical supports. So this is, again, more good news. This is the RSI heat map, or and again, if you take a look at this, everything is quite oversold. So, half of it's in neutral, the other half is in the oversold category. Even Ethereum is oversold. It's at the very bottom. Many popular cryptocurrencies here are very oversold. We're having multiple metrics telling us that now is really not the time to be bearish. Quite the opposite. And this is Trump pitching himself as a crypto president. Again, more long-term good news. And the last thing I wanted to look at before jumping into charts is this was the cycle from 2016 to 2017. This was that parabolic move upward. And the reason that we're looking at this chart is because many analysts are suggesting that this cycle is going to look a lot more like the 2016 to 2017 cycle rather than the somewhat odd 2021 cycle. We had this weird double peak because China banned Bitcoin in the middle of it. And you can see that it also had these crazy drops, 40%, 26%, 40%, 35%, 40%. It was totally normal as part of this huge parabolic move upward. So there's nothing here that's totally unusual or different or market changing about it. Okay, let's go on to some charts. Why don't we just take a look at some charts quickly? And to answer your question, so what is causing the fall today? Today specifically, we got bad news of a big, and I talked about it earlier, but just in case you missed it, a very large exchange basically announced that they have to reimburse a bunch of hack victims, and this is going to cause $9 billion worth of selling pressure hitting Bitcoin. So this scared the market. This caused panic selling today, and we've bounced pretty hard from that, especially altcoins. Bitcoin is down 4.4% right now, but it dropped 7%, and it was mostly sparked by this news that caused panic selling. But we can see many cryptocurrencies altcoins have bounced really hard, and this is something to pay attention to because this is giving us signs that maybe we're getting this decoupling of altcoins and Bitcoin now, which means it's totally possible that altcoins start doing good. Why don't we take a look at Bitcoin for a little bit and kind of see what's happening? So I know this is looking crazy. I'm going to break this down, make this nice and easy. So first, I'm going to go ahead and clear this, move this out of the way, and make this full screen so we can actually see what's going on. This is the price of Bitcoin, and we are dancing with this critical support level here at the 60,000 mark. We wicked under it, and we were able to reclaim it. And the question is, are we going to lose this? Are we going to go like this, where we bounce up and then dip under it? Or are we going to, where's the undo button? The undo button's at the top. Or are we going to bounce like this? And we're going to finally bounce like this. We're going to make higher highs, and now we're going to start going up again. And of course, it's super hard to say. No one knows. Nobody knows. I'm not going to claim to know. I'm going to give you my theory, but I'm not going to claim to know. Many people say that we're dropping, we're going to lose this, and that we're going to drop to this level, this 52,000 level. Obviously, some of those analysts said under 50,000, which I think is very bearish. You know what? I haven't had any of my Prime yet. I just realized I got to have some of my Prime. Prime gets me hyper. When I'm hyper, I start saying good things. Okay, sorry about that. So, what do I think? I think we're not losing 60K. I'm still confident. Of course, I could be wrong, and it could happen, where we lose this red line, which is the 200-week moving average. Although generally in bull markets, this acts as the strongest level of support, this red line. Very rarely do we break under it. And if we do, not for very long. And good buying opportunities are when Bitcoin is under this yellow line. It's considered oversold when it's under this yellow line, which is the 100-day moving average. So we're dancing with this critical support level. And at the same time, kind of this 200-week moving average, which we almost wicked down to and tested. And at this point, yes, we made a double peak. And yes, this lower peak, or the second peak was a lower low. But no, I absolutely don't think that we're going to go down. I believe this is it, and I believe we're going to start moving up from here. Again, I could be wrong. But I personally, if I still had sideline money laying around, I would be buying here and not worry about, even if it does drop a little bit, I would just not worry about it. I think this is a great price. I would be buying here, and I would just wait. I would definitely not sell here. Definitely not. Why don't we take a look at Ethereum as well? Let me get out of here. Ethereum is actually looking healthier than Bitcoin. Ethereum is also at a support, this 3,300 level. And it looks like we're bouncing from it. And Ethereum is actually nowhere near this 200-week moving average. Much cleaner looking chart. Good bounce today. Or it wicked under, then came back up. This is a good looking sign. This is a good looking candle. Not much to say about Ethereum other than the chart is looking good. It's at a good support level. It's not near the 200-week moving average, and there's great news coming for Ethereum, the Ethereum spot ETFs. Not much to say about it, so that's looking really good. Actually, let me quickly go back to Bitcoin, because I already forgot to say that the RSI, which measures the strength of Bitcoin, is at 25. This is the very oversold level. The last time it was at 25, this low was in August of 2023. Here. This was the very bottom of the bear market. This was a slight recovery, and then we fell back down. And that's when it set this. So the RSI is saying that Bitcoin is very, very oversold. That's all I wanted the RSI for. The RSI is supporting the idea that Bitcoin is very oversold right now. We have multiple indicators now saying that Bitcoin is oversold. So what should we do? Again, as I always say, nothing. All you have to do is nothing. We plan for this. We plan that the price of Bitcoin in 6 to 12 months will be higher than it is now. So what do we have to do right now? We have to do nothing. Easy to mess it up. Let's take a look at the total market cap of Bitcoin, or rather crypto. Yeah, and again, we tested this 200-week moving average, and since then we've wicked back up. Held. And in fact, there's another good support here. We are at strong support levels in terms of the actual horizontal support band, as well as the 200-week moving average. So we are getting good signs that this is the bottom, if not near the bottom. Let's take a look at Solana. Solana, it came down and it tested its 200-week moving average as well, which also coincides with another support. It wicked under it, and it has since now reclaimed it and is back over it. There's not much else to say besides that, other than obviously it sucks when the crypto market is down and there's lots of selling pressure. And, this morning really sucked. I don't like it too. But just because crypto is down, it doesn't mean it's time to sell. It doesn't mean the narrative is changing, everything's bad, or it's been down for a few weeks now, or for a few months it hasn't done anything. Right? The price of one Bitcoin 1 year ago today was 25,000. So there's many people that have, and it's been very volatile since. There's many people that have been shaken out. But the winners are the ones that didn't even check their portfolios. They don't even know what happened. Because they understand that in a bull market, when prices trend upward, you don't have to do anything until there's indications that this trend, this long-term trend, is reversing. And right now, these indications are not happening. I will be the first to say, as soon as I start noticing something scary, I will make announcements. I'm going to say, hey guys, there's some scary signs here that we need to start being more careful. I would say, guys, the market's looking kind of dangerous. I think that we should exit the market entirely, and maybe wait a year, see what happens. But I'm just not getting those signs. It sucks. A lot of people are down right now because when Bitcoin did this huge pump, people shifted their money into altcoins, thinking that altcoins would follow. And instead, altcoins had this nasty crash where they crashed 60, 70, 80%, which shocked a lot of people, and a lot of people are scared. But you have to remain logical. You have to remain totally separated from your portfolio emotionally. Yes, it sucks when it goes down, but crypto's volatile, unexpected things happen, and things are looking good long term. So all you have to do is nothing. Okay. Finally, one other thing that we can gain from the crypto bubbles chart is it tells you which coins are doing the best or looking the strongest. We can see that AI coins are doing really well, and Lido is doing really well. It's been doing really, really well lately. And honestly, I looked into it a little bit, not fully sure why. I didn't see the news on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. But we can see that altcoins are doing really well. AI altcoins are doing really well. We have meme coins doing really well. Celestia did good today, but I think this coin's a scam. Same with Ondo. I think Ondo is mostly a scam. Same with Pith. Anyway, sorry. I'm just bashing coins now. Coins now. One thing I want to show you guys is, for those who don't know, we have John Ford, the amazing genius coder John Ford, who has made an AI trading bot and is still in process of making it. You can do all of your research directly from inside the Discord. You can type /info and look up any coin. Guys, don't fade this. You can look up any coin, learn about any coin by typing /info your coin. Whatever you want. /info, Solana. It has all these coins. And we're implementing a learn more feature for when you want to learn more about a certain coin too, just in case you're not happy with this information. In addition to that, it will give you, it doesn't yet, in the next update that we're working on right now, it's going to give you daily market reports. It's going to say, today, the market is overvalued. Today, the market's undervalued. Here's what's happening. Here's what these indicators are saying. And you can make your own choices off of that. Other things it'll do is it's going to give you signals. It'll say, hey, this major indicator just flashed, so do with that information with what you will. But having access to automatic market data and signals is really huge. Okay. Of course, you can do other things like price. It can get price. Let me show you. You can do slash price any coin, like Bitcoin. You can do slash all-time high of Bitcoin or any coin. Okay, and of course, application is not responding right now because I'm live, of course. Anyway, it does do that. It's never had this before. Okay, I think that's about it. If there's any questions, go ahead and ask them now before we finish. We'll do maybe a quick Q&A. Ondo is most definitely not a scam. I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I don't like Ondo. Ondo has been doing well. I'm not going to doubt that Ondo has been doing well. I think it's a bad coin. I don't like that it's been doing well. Right? Ondo has definitely been doing well. It's just been riding its 50-day moving average. But, I mean, look at this. Fully diluted market valuation is 12 billion. Its market cap is 1.7. Its market cap to FDV is 0.14. In my this is, to me, this is a screaming scam coin. If this ever does well, you're going to get so much selling pressure from early investors and VCs that you're never going to be able to make good profit on this coin, is what I think. So I'm just not really bullish on it. I had some Ondo. It did well, and then I sold it because I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to hold this. Okay. Are there any questions? If not, then we'll end it here, and hopefully you got something out of the video. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and join the Discord. You want to have access to these cool things. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much.